Welcome back to a year of Final Fantasy in the month of Valifor and of course, the unofficial month of the Chocobo. Today we're going to be looking at an incredibly obscure game called Hataraku Chocobo. Sorry if I mispronounced that, or roughly translated as Chocobo on the Job, sometimes called Working Chocobo as well. So I'm going to basically just refer to this game as Chocobo on the Job because I'm pretty sure I'm completely butchering that proper Hataraku Chocobo name, so I'm just going to stop there. Anyway, there's a good chance that you may not have heard about this game because, well, if you haven't figured it out by now, this was not released at all in the West. And when it was released was actually on September 21st in the year 2000 for Japan only for the Wonderswan and subsequent Wonderswan Color portable gaming handheld. It was actually a pretty popular handheld in Japan that was created by Bandai, but it never came over here. I suspect because just Game Boy had such a strong foothold, and nothing could really even compete in that market, despite the Wonderswan being technically better. It was an incredible system, but it just didn't make it over here. Anyway, let's get back to the game. Chocobo on the Job was one that I came across while I was putting together this master list of Final Fantasy topics. And from what I gather, this game is a sort of sim game that features the player raising a chocobo in a Harvest Moon-esque type of game. Now, alright, I have to preface this with the fact that there is very little information out there on the internet, at least in English, and I cannot read Japanese. So what I'm going to say about the game is going to be purely speculative based on some of the gameplay that I've seen from it and the intro and the trailers and all of that. So just to clear the air, I might be completely wrong about all of this. But anyway, let's take a look at what I assume the game to be. So your character himself appears to be a red mage-esque kind of character, and on your journey it seems that you're going to meet a lot of other characters. Specifically in the trailer that I'm showing, it shows that there's a time mage and she has a white chocobo and you have her meet with the main character. You also see what I can only assume is a fighter or perhaps a monk character with a pink chocobo who he gets really mad at, and possibly a dancer, she's the one with red hair, and her gray chocobo. And it seems like in Harvest Moon you get to cultivate these relationships with these people as the game progresses in whatever way it does. Eventually it looks like you get to raise a lot of chocobos, and with that it seems that there's a kind of chocobo competition minigame type of thing in here where the three characters and yourself compete their chocobos, and what I expect is probably racing, if not some other minigames as well. And after they complete those minigames you actually get scored, or at least it seems that way. So even though there's very little information about this just seems like a really fun game, and just, I guess, relaxing in the way that Harvest Moon or Rune Factory or Stardew Valley give you that sort of feeling of, I don't know, of ambience, of calm. And I really would have liked to play this looking at it now, and it looks just like it has some sort of adventure quality to it. The map that you see almost looks like an Ivalice type map. I'm not sure if you're going to go to other places or if you pick one of those places and, you know, develop your farm around there. I'm not sure exactly which one it is, but it does look neat, and like I said, it looks ripped directly from Final Fantasy Tactics. A lot of the different recognizable characters appear here, at least in the forms of jobs, and with all of these minigames that are peppered throughout, as well as having a competent resource management as you would expect in a farming sim, it looks fairly fleshed out, well, as much as a game like this can be. And hey, there looks to be even some kind of story comic book cutscenes that possibly propel the game forward with whatever narrative it has. The presentations of the trailers and commercials are absolutely top-notch animation. It's clear that at least quite a bit of effort was put into this game, especially in the marketing portion. So I'm kind of curious now on why we hadn't seen a release here or even heard about it at all. This game I've never heard about until I started researching this. I'll muse on why possibly that we didn't get more Chocobo games in an episode that'll be coming up a little bit later. But what can be said though is that it's pretty clear that Japan really enjoyed this Chocobo spin-off series much more than the West did. The series has been quite well established, with the Chocobo being the obvious mascot of this particular line of spin-off games, and having some other through lines like the original franchise does with, let's say, Sid. The Sid that we see in all of these Chocobo games games at least visually appear identical. And we also have some other characters that make recurring pop-ups as well, like the chubby Chocobo, Mog, and some other enemies that have gotten kind of a cartoonish makeover. It's a shame that we just really didn't see a lot more of these games because many, if not most of these, are at least decent. And some of them are legitimately really good, specifically the Chocobo Dungeon games. I absolutely love those games, probably because I like roguelikes. Anyway, I'll end it there. Hopefully though, while this particular video isn't just crammed with hard information, and most of it's just speculation due to the incredible lack of English information out there, hopefully you've learned at least a little bit about a game that you possibly didn't even know existed before. And with that, if you have played this game, or if you do understand Japanese and can provide me with some more info, I'd love for you to leave it in the comments. I might do an update video after this entire year of Final Fantasy project is done, just to kind of amend some of these videos with some more information and clarity. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. It's videos like these that I love doing because I'm personally learning a bunch of stuff that I probably never would have knew otherwise, and that's a huge part of my drive for this crazy year of Final Fantasy project. So if you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing or sharing this around. I cannot overstate how important that can be to help me out and grow the channel. But of course, if you hate my videos, feel free to not do any of that, and I still appreciate you watching these regardless. So until next time, Crystal Warriors, keep on gaming.